Hello, and welcome to Gabby Presents, How to Measure Cover Using the Point Method, at Arroyo Chico. Let's go! The first thing I'm going to do is take a look around and determine if there are any areas like this pathway that I should remove from my area of interest. I'm only interested in sampling the vegetated areas. Now that I've established my area of interest, it's time to begin the sampling process. But first, let's take a look at some of the materials I'll need for this sampling method.
The materials you're going to need are a data sheet, a tape measure, a point of some sort, I chose metal, and a writing implement.
I'm using a random number sheet to determine the direction I should go in and how many steps I should take, but a random number generator should work just fine as well.
The cover by points method works here at Arroyo Chico because the vegetation is neither too dense or too sparse, which makes this both efficient and precise. Because we are using random sampling, the cover by points method allows the entire area of interest to have an equal random chance of being selected. Using random sampling to choose the location, direction, and side of the transect you're going to sample on effectively reduces bias in all sampling collection.
Now that I'm facing my random direction, I'm going to begin taking the random amount of steps I selected to establish my transect. Here I'm going to put down the point to mark that spot. Now I'm going to establish a 5-meter long transect using the tape measure. I'm going to walk in the random direction that I selected and lay the tape measure down as straight as I can. In the event that the direction selected is completely bare, it is best to pick another random direction and amount of steps and repeat the process over.
To begin sampling, you're going to want to take a point sample at every 10 centimeters along this transect. This would count for grass. This would be bare, bare, bare. And here I have what appears to be a forb, another forb, and another forb. Continue this measurement along the entire transect, collecting 50 points for each type of plant I get, forbs, woody species, or grasses, or if I get bare ground.
It's important to stick to one side of the transect to reduce bias when sampling for cover. This prevents data being recorded for one plant that occurs on one side of the transect but not the other. When using the point method, you should only count current year plants as opposed to all once living matter.
Now I'm going to roll this up, take another random direction, find another random sampling spot, and do this same process over for 10 more transects. Ideally, I'd want to have 20 transects to get a true estimate of this area, but 10 transects will have to do when we're on a time crunch.
Here I am laying out another transect in a random direction in order to sample a different area of the entire site. Because it is not the growing season, the vegetation in the area is somewhat lacking. I may need to adjust my transect to reflect that, and I will have to make a note of that on my data sheet. Now, let's record some data.
We're going to do a hit here, and that's going to be a forb. And another hit here. It's another forb. And then here, one more forb. And then we have bare, 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 bare.
Here's what a completed data sheet could look like for a site in this condition. In a more densely vegetated area, the forb, woody, and grass columns would have more data collected.